Coach Griner, we got another edition, as you call it, of GG Grice's Gems. I'm glad to have you on here for what is this, week 3 now? Oh my goodness. This
I know
season is flying by here. Just so
it
glad to
is.
have you on here for another one, Coach Griner.
Appreciate you having me, brother.
Oh, always got to do it with GG doing the GG thing. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go out to Kernersville, North Carolina. Yes, that school, East Forsyth. Bryce Baker, the transfer in from Walkertown High School. Again, in a 27-21 win over AC Reynolds, Baker completed 15 of 23 passes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on a defense that was only allowing 166.5 passing yards per game so far. And Griner, we all know last year how tough AC Reynolds was. They seem to be that way the same way this year. Didn't seem to be a problem for him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this guy's averaging 20 yards a pass in this game. I mean, that's pretty good. If my math is correct, 15 times 20, yes, that's 300 yards. That's big time.
Griner, ever the mathematician. I think the way he's been able to come in there this year, and it seems like they haven't missed a beat. You know, we had the runner-up last year from East Forsyth as the quarterback. Now we've got another guy to step right in those shoes, and we see that they're continuing to put up those high-profile numbers against some pretty tough teams. So I'm excited to see how he continues to grow. And I know he's a young guy. I think he may be a sophomore, but I mean, look at the poise and way to stand in the pocket, even with a free rusher coming. He's going to be poised for greatness.
No doubt.
All right, let's move forward. Let's come back here into the Queen City. I think it's Alex Koulovatos. I think Coach Guru called him the K-Man last year. I think it was at Covenant Day, if I'm not mistaken. Now at Providence, in a 41-20 win over Hunter Huss. Griner, get this. He had 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. That's great by on its own. Also forced a fumble, had 2 sacks, and an interception. We're not done, Griner. He also blocked a punt, and then on offense, he had 2 touchdown catches. When Coach Wesley Ward said that's the best performance he's seen from a player that he's coached, we got to have him be in the Grice's gym, Griner. What do you look about this stat stuff for Alex Koulovatos?
That's what I'm saying. This guy's playing Ironman football. You know I love that aspect, and we saw it on display this weekend with college football with Deion Sanders' team. I mean, so it's showing that it can be done. And if you're a true warrior of this team, you got to do whatever it takes to make your team win. And this is a big win for Providence, getting back on the winning train. 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, forced fumble, 2 sacks, interception, block punt. How about 2 touchdown catches? That's unbelievable.
Griner, I mean, we're talking about the South Side Travis Hunter here in the Queen City. I mean,
yes,
got to show some love here for this guy. Stuff in the stat sheet. You know you got to be Grice's gym if you got all those kind of stats. Shout out to Coach Ward. Salute for providing that film. Next, let's go to a guy. We've got to get Austin Lewallen out of Princeton. Austin, you got to get your film in next. So we know all about Princeton last year because we gave Christian Paris the call out of Princeton. This guy was backing him up last year. Now he steps into a big moment. I think it was his first start, if I'm not mistaken. Griner, 51 carries, 375 yards, and 6 touchdowns in a 41-34 win over Rosewood. We know out there in Princeton, if you're the guy, you're the bell cow, you're getting the ball until the night's over. 51 carries, Griner. Sounds like a guy to play for you. Definitely, Coach Griner. He is first team all ice bath, Coach Griner. That is definitely for sure. All right, we're going to keep moving forward. We've got to bring on the guy that's getting the call. Hey, we give guys a call that deserve some big time moments, big time players. I personally called this guy the best special teams, one of the best players in the state, just because of his foot. And again, I've been on the other side, Griner. You've been on the other side from him. When you're talking to your kick return team, you're giving them the rah-rah speech. You're letting them know what's up, only to know that this guy's going to kick the ball through the end zone and going to sit there and start your offense on the 20. He does that. Yes, it's Nolan Hauser out of Huff. The Clemson commit, Griner. Already, Dabo saw him and said that's enough for him. If Dabo says that's enough for him, you know he's that guy. Let's talk about him. Again, he's a Max Preps preseason All-American, and if he keeps doing this, it's going to be a postseason All-American. Kicked 2 field goals that were needed against South Carolina 5A state champion Dutch Fork on Friday. The second one tied the national career record for field goals at 56 yards. I mean, this is just incredible, Nolan. You continue to do this. I remember your first year doing this and knowing and seeing from the other sideline, unfortunately, that it was going to be a long night. I just want to talk to you, and I know your head coach very well, but just knowing when the ball is in that range for you, what does he say to you? Because I know you've got to be like, I'm ready. I'm good from the parking lot.
Yeah. Coach Baker, we always have a talk before the games. The past 3 games, we always have a talk, and after warm ups, he always asks me how I feel and how far I'm feeling. I'm usually good from anywhere inside 60, but we go 58, and I'll tell him if I'm feeling some way, if I feel a wind or a yeah, just wind and how I feel, my leg feels. I'll tell him where I'm good from, and from there throughout the game, he trusts me and he puts me in that
This
position.
dude,
For
this dude
sure,
sounds
no.
like Happy Gilmore hitting a golf ball.
I
Like
mean,
seriously.
it's incredible. Also, too, I know, of course, like I said, I know a little bit of it. I know that Coach Ken Walter, of course, that Ken Walter that played for the Patriots and the Panthers, has also been over there. Have you had the chance to work with him? And what are some tips maybe that he's given you to continue on your run? Not that you need them per se, but from a former NFL special teams guy, how has that been working with him?
No, I need every bit of it. I mean, just from different aspects. He was obviously a punter and a holder, really good holder. So it's really him working with the specialist and working with the holder and making sure everything's right as far as that goes. And just working through punt team, and I'm punting also.
Oh,
So
nice.
giving me some pointers at punting.
You already know.
You can always pointers at punting. I'm not the best punter, but I
Now,
try.
No,
no,
I'm not the
Nolan,
best. Right, I'm not the best punter. He's a great punter. He's talking about not
he's
being the best punter. I'm not going to let him get that. So, Coach Griner, we let him kind of get away because he said that his conversation with his head coach was like, Nolan, how's it going? We know Coach Baker does not talk like that. Coach Baker probably came up to him and said, Nolan, how you feeling, baby? Or something to
that's
that
right.
effect.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a dear friend of mine, I have to ask your favorite Coach Sean Baker quote or story. And again, I'm adding that is also able to be said on air. I will start. My favorite quote. Again, I've got to give you some time because we cannot get in trouble. Langston will have my head if the Grice's Gym segment has to be rated R. So I'll start. So my favorite thing would always be when we have a running back or somebody that doesn't hit the hole and we would be slow. Coach would always say, "My grandma was slow too, but she was 80." So I'll turn it over to you. What is your favorite Coach Baker quote or story so far?
Nah, he says a lot about that grandma. I agree with that. He says that all the time. Whether it's guys not being in the gym enough, he says he looks like his grandma and she's not even around. He said that the other day and in the huddle, and everybody just started cracking up because this kid's skinny as as
Yeah,
crap. And he said that about his grandma. But I can agree with you on that one. But I wouldn't say he has a quote. He just brings a certain amount of
for sure.
energy. He has that energy. I mean, Huff hasn't had that. Coach Jenkins, I love Coach
Yep.
Jenkins to death, but Coach Jenkins didn't bring that swag. He didn't bring that energy in the locker room. He was more of a low, smart guy. Coach Baker, he'll get after you.
Definitely.
I mean, after that Dutch Fort game, in that locker room, we went crazy.
Good stuff.
Before he some stuff you can't be said on this, but just, just know that he's a great coach, and he just brings energy more than anything.
Definitely. Griner, I'll give you the last word and then
Yeah.
we'll give a wrap.
Well, Nolan, I appreciate you being on here, and I tell you, it's different, wrapping up. But I've coached against you. It is a different sound when you hit the football. It is thunderous. It is unbelievable. Keep doing your thing, and love to see you again on Grice's Gyms.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, I like that shirt.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, what up for you today?
Yes, sir. Hey, repping.
All right, Nolan, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
All right, week through Grice's Gyms. Griner, we tell them all the time, if you should be at Grice's Gym, contact me at Coach J. Grice on Twitter, at Langston Wirtz Jr. also on Twitter. Please reach out at Observer Preps. If you and your performance from Friday night, you think that it was a great one and you think that this deserves or worthy of mention or nomination to be at Grice's Gyms, hey, you got to do like Coach Griner's doing. Like we always say here, if you ball, Coach Griner, what happens?
You gonna get the call.
You will get the call. Thanks, guys.